Welcome to State of Affairs. I'm Steve Adubato, coming to you from the Agnes Veris NJTV studio in beautiful Brick City, that's Newark, New Jersey. We're honored to have with us Briana Vannozzi, correspondent for NJTV News, with the great Mary Alice Williams. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on. I'm happy to chat about this.
We're going to be talking about a great piece that you did in Camden in just a bit. But, when did you know you wanted to be a broadcaster?
Oh, gosh. I mean, this is going to sound so silly, but when I watched All the President's Men for the first time, my senior year of high school,
Robert Redford.
I said, that's what I should be doing. I shouldn't just go for writing. I need to put my writing to a better use. And so that really started it for me.
And NJTV News is a great place to do it.
It is. It's a good family here.
Yeah, before we see this package, set it up. You go to Camden, you do a forum on the subject of?
So this is a very touchy subject in Camden. We're talking about jobs, but not just jobs. The money that's been poured into bringing jobs to Camden in the form of tax incentives through the state EDA, the Economic Development Authority. So there are, as you might guess, two very differing opinions on how this money should be spent and how it's already been spent.
Why don't you set it up?
Okay.
Tell everybody what they're going to say.
So this is a forum that we held with a group of panelists from all facets of the city, talking about why this money is being spent there and how we should expect to see it being used.
Let's go to the clip.
There's not a major city that doesn't give incentives in order to keep the businesses and to make that city thrive and to really start to build that city up. So you take that side of it, right? So everybody we get so focused on just, you know, hey, the jobs are coming in, or these companies are coming in, but nobody looks at the effect that happens around those jobs and effects that the small businesses are being affected around.
Okay, right. As a small business owner, is there a ripple effect?
I'll start with this. In the 1980s, there was a term called trickle-down economics.
Sure.
And this sure sounds like a lot. I like it. One of the reasons why I'm so vociferous about this is because we have 8,000 people out of work, generations of poverty here. We have obscene amounts of money being spent here. It starts to become a moral question for me that we could spend $2 billion and essentially create 200 jobs within the reach of a Camden resident. The collateral benefits, absolutely.
So, Briana, here's the question. Using state dollars for the EDA to support Camden, controversial, right?
Yeah.
Was there any consensus on it?
No, other than the fact that Camden is a distressed city and it needs jobs. But the question that no one can really answer is, and what's been brought up is this whole idea that Camden is rising, is that a crafted narrative, or is it actually rising?
What do you mean crafted?
Meaning, is
like a
the
PR
state,
thing?
Exactly. Is this a move by the state to have this as a shining beacon of an example of how this Grow New Jersey program is working? Grow New Jersey came out of a measure back in 2013 so that it could lift the cap on how much the state can give to businesses to set up shop.
And
here.
they wanted to have Camden, in many ways, be a test case, folks. So look, Camden has had struggling schools.
Yeah.
It had crime situation, drugs, considered by some, right, to be one of the most dangerous cities in the nation. But it is doing better in terms of the schools.
It is doing better. The schools, the graduation
there are more cops
rates,
on the street.
There are more cops on the street now. Now that's a whole other issue because that's where the county came in and took over the local police force. And again, that's another example of where we've seen President Obama came in to laud the department for how well they were doing. The schools, the graduation rates are up. There is measured, real, tangible progress in the city. And so on behalf of the city government and even the county government, they say, listen, if we don't have these incentives, how do you expect to get these anchors here? How do you expect to start anywhere? We can't keep looking to the past and blaming what happened in the past for where we're going to go now. We need to try this. Get these tenants here and let them grow careers for people. We're not going to just create jobs. We want to grow careers for people to change the landscape.
Briana, devil's advocate, someone says, wait, is it the state's role to use public money through the EDA?
Right.
I mean, there's a whole complicated process that they use, but the Economic Development Authority is charged. By the way, excuse my voice, allergies to all those who are suffering out there.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Is it the role of the state to incentivize a community that would otherwise have a very difficult time, if not impossible time, getting in private investment? Because if that those state dollars come in, activity takes place, there's some economic development, and then private business comes in. Isn't that the point? I'm not arguing for the state,
Sure.
but that is the point that many make.
It is.
That it wouldn't happen otherwise.
That it wouldn't happen otherwise, that these folks would go elsewhere where it's a lot cheaper to do business. There are really high costs that come with having a business in New Jersey, and that's not debatable. That's a fact. So what we see here is how are these businesses going to actually grow jobs within the city itself, because a lot of these need highly skilled laborers.
Is the labor force in Camden to support it?
It can be. There are apprenticeship programs. Holtec, for example, has an apprenticeship program where they have people going through, but these are primarily for construction jobs, which are not always permanent. So you have that issue to grapple with.
But it's, again, but it's better to have those jobs while you have them than not have them there at all.
That's the defense of the city, but you have folks like New Jersey Policy Perspective, which is a left-leaning think tank in Trenton, who's done a lot of number crunching on this.
What do they say?
And they say for the nearly $2 billion the state has spent since 2013, we're spending about $300,000 per job for Camden. So for them, the cost-benefit analysis, it still doesn't show that it's worth it.
Briana, two things. One, Governor Christie's still there. He'll be there until January 2018. We'll have a new governor. Do you think a new governor could change the policies of the EDA so this would no longer be a policy to put public dollars into urban communities like this for development?
I don't think that it's unlikely that a new governor would do that. It doesn't behoove them. It doesn't behoove what's already being done in the state. To undo that and untangle what's there would be much more costly, much more devastating to the city. That is, whether even those who live anywhere on the outskirts of the downtown where a lot of this has been concentrated argue it's still needed. We still need something to help.
Briana, part of NJTV News operation, NJTV News does a terrific initiative called In Your Neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right, Camden was one, Trenton is another one, right? The argument is that this should matter, what's happening in Camden, to everyone else in the state, even if you live in a suburban or rural area. Make that case.
The difficult part there is for folks who are up in Sussex County who are also facing issues with transportation jobs and that, they are disappointed. Why isn't more money flowing up that way? But for the folks in Camden, where we do have a really concentrated region of people, there is an effect that happens. We see it happening in Newark, where the mayor here, Ras Baraka, has this 2020 plan to bring
Newark in 2020.
Newark in 2020. More jobs. The anchor tenants who are here will be hiring strictly from Newark city residents, and that then in turn has an effect on everyone around there. So that's the argument for Camden.
Real quick, when can everyone see NJTV News with Mary Alice Williams and the great news team?
You can watch it 6, 7:30, and 11 p.m. every weeknight.
Good stuff. Briana Vannozzi, correspondent with NJTV News with Mary Alice Williams. Check them out every night. Thank you so much for joining us.
Steve. Really
Appreciate
good
it.
to be on here.
Great partners to be with NJTV. We'll be right back.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Agnes Veris NJTV studio at 2 Gateway. Funding has been provided by the New Jersey Office of the Insurance Fraud Prosecutor, New Jersey Council of County Colleges, Valley National Bank, JFK Medical Center, the New Jersey Association of Health Underwriters, New Jersey Sharing Network, and by the New Jersey Reentry Corporation. Promotional support provided by New Jersey Monthly, the magazine of the Garden State, available at newsstands, and by Commerce Magazine.